Presbyterian Church, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
What makes America a great country is the diversity of her citizens. Today we gather in this chamber among a diverse group of our citizens who have been elected to the City Council to represent the interests of our communities that comprise the city of Norfolk. Give these council members the capacity to value their responsibility of representation of and for our community by working together for the common good of all. In the midst of differences of opinion or ideologies, keep them from being divided by those differences for the common good of all. Now remember and keep their families, friends, and our fellow citizens that have supported them in their service. Give them wisdom to make decisions for the good of all. I ask the God of my understanding to grant these blessings upon them and our community.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to its republic, which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, and Pastor, thank you for coming down tonight. The clerk will please call the roll.
Mr. Burford? Here. Mr. Protogiru?
Here.
Mr. Riddick?
Here.
Mr. Smiegel?
Here.
Dr. Whibley?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
Mr. Wynn?
Here.
Mr. Frame?
Here, the motion is to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting, please.
Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smiegel?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Norfolk City Council chambers. We're glad to have you here. For the benefit of those of you who may not regularly attend our sessions, the process which we will follow tonight in the formal part of the meeting, the first thing we will do is we're going to take up the public hearings. There are two of those. At the conclusion of the public hearings, we have a consent agenda, which has a few items on it tonight. They're fairly small items. They're just scheduling matters for later votes, and the council, there are 7 or 8 matters there. The council may in fact vote on all of those items just at one time. At the conclusion of the consent agenda vote, we will then move to the regular agenda, and there are a number of items here. There are 13 items on the regular agenda. We'll vote on all those matters one at a time. We'll vote on all of them in the order in which they are numbered on the printed docket, on the printed agenda. At the conclusion of the formal agenda, if any member of the public would like to speak to the City Council or about something that's not on the formal docket, you'll be given that opportunity. All you have to do is sign a slip of paper, which the clerk has made available in the lobby outside of the conference, outside of the council chambers before the meeting began, and a couple of you have done that. Before we begin our formal agenda, though, we do have a couple of very important ceremonial matters, and we have Veterans Day, which is coming upon us here, and Bob Freitag is here. And Bob, would you like to come to the podium? And I see we have a number of our veterans here this evening, and we're obviously proud to have all of you.
Mayor, as usual, we come here every year. We ask for your blessing on our Veterans Day proclamation. As you see, the other mayors of the 4 great cities signed it. We would like you to read it.
Be glad
And what we would like to do is come up and have our pictures taken
Sure.
and invite the public to the Veterans Day Parade on November 11th, 2011. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob. I'll read the proclamation. It reads, whereas it is the duty of every American to support and uphold the ideals and principles upon which our nation was founded. Whereas Americans have unselfishly and consistently answered the call to defend the nation's ideals from history's battle at Lexington during the Revolutionary War to the recent distant conflicts of Afghanistan and Iraq. Whereas on this day we pause to remember and commemorate all American men and women who have faithfully served in the uniformed services of the United States of America. Whereas we especially recognize the Filipino-American veterans, including those of World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, numerous crises and conflicts of the Cold War, and the global war against terrorism. And whereas the members of the Filipino-American veterans have maintained the honor, integrity, and supremacy of our country and hold supreme allegiance to the United States of America and fidelity to its Constitution and laws. Whereas the Filipino-American veterans strive to promote fellowship among veterans and to protect veterans' rights, benefits, and entitlements, thereby providing moral support, education, assistance to sick and distressed veterans, fostering better understanding for all veterans, that peace and goodwill may prevail. to cherish and preserve the memories of military, their widows, their orphans, and their dependents. Whereas the Hampton Roads Council of Veterans Organizations, in association with the Filipino American Veterans, sponsor a parade and patriotic observances honoring Americans who have served and sacrificed for their country. Now, therefore, we, the mayors of the cities of Chesapeake, Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Virginia Beach, do proclaim November 11th, 2011 as Veterans Day in our cities and celebrate that our citizens' businesses and organizations demonstrate due appreciation, admiration, and respect for all veterans who have served our great nation. In witness thereof, we have set our hands and caused the seals of our great cities of Chesapeake, Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Virginia Beach to be affixed here too. Bob, why don't I present this to you, this proclamation, and then if you would want us all to come down there and take a picture with everybody here, we'd be glad to do it. Thanks very much.
Mayor, as usual.
Yes, sir.
we
Thank you.
appreciate it.
We appreciate you. All right, we're going to come on down and take a picture.
Some of us could stand back here.
Yeah. Would be
Oh, we,
better.
we're gonna get back here.
Dr. Whitby, you two come on, get in the middle here.
I'm too short, I should be on the edge. Seriously, I'm not kidding, you're not gonna see me.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
How are you? Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Hi.
Okay, all right.
Terry Woodley, nice to meet you. Come on over.
What about the city manager?
Gentlemen, ladies, look at me, please. Ready on three, big smile. 1, 2, 3, hold it. One more time, please. Look at me. Ready on three, big smile. 1, 2, 3, hold that. Thank you, gentlemen in the back. Mr. Best, here we are. Change places. Change places. Change places.
Oh, we're not important.
Yeah, that's Robert Randall.
It's like I'm in school.
You guys are done in the back, right? I want you.
We're the background.
We're the background.
Yeah, we're mere background.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I told you need to have that blue curtain.
I wonder if in
Yeah.
20 years it's gonna be people
See how this is my style. I don't put it in a memo.
Iraq, Iran,
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, I don't know.
He stole it from me. I told him that months ago.
That's what
I told him Shannon came up with it.
your son got against chickens.
He thinks I'm gonna bring home, start raising them.
I think it's gonna be his chicken. No.
Okay? Wait, please. That's good.
I don't have any idea how I got going in this. I have to tell you, I don't even know.
That's funny. Critter done.
Hey, did you get any of that stuff though about the no-kill?
$300 for the boat ramp today.
Pretty serious protocol.
The money we're gonna get for selling the property to ODU.
That's all right. We didn't have anywhere to go. Don't worry about it, man.
What are they doing with it?
I think we could too. They got money.
Perfect.
Money.
Like I saw this one thing they said. So come in and they get the dogs.
Okay, that was easy enough. Okay. All right.
Only coming on.
I mean, silly things that
No idea who that is.
wouldn't make sense.
All right, we have one more ceremonial matter this evening, which we're glad to present, is Steve Hawks, Director of Human Services. Here, Steve, come on up. Maddie Satterfield. I know we have some other folks here. I see Jan Callahan out there. And Jan, you're going to come up, and Terry and Raymond Council. Tasha Ford Simmons, Tracy Brickhouse, Gary Cofield, and there may be some others. We're glad to have all of you here. This is really a special proclamation, and it's in It is concerning adoption awareness. Well, thank you for coming down. I'll read the presentation. If you'd like to say a few words, we'd love to hear from you. We greatly appreciate what you do for our children here as well. So it reads, whereas the City of Norfolk recognizes that adoption gives children a loving, caring, nurturing, and permanent family. Whereas more than 107,000 children in the United States in the foster care system must have a safe, healthy, and permanent home. Whereas in Virginia, there are more than 1,280 children waiting for permanent families. Good gracious. Whereas more than 65 children in the city of Norfolk are waiting for citizens to provide each child with a permanent family. Whereas all adoptive families that open their hearts and homes play a unique and vital role in the lives of each child, because each child will feel better about themselves, receive better health care, do better in school, and grow up to be better parents and workers and citizens. So now, therefore, I, Paul Frame, Mayor of the City of Norfolk, do hereby proclaim the month of November as Adoption Awareness Month in the City of Norfolk, and encourage all citizens to join in a national effort to raise awareness about the importance of adoption, given under my hand this 25th day of October 2011. And who would like to receive the proclamation? Okay, Steve. Great. Thanks for coming down. We'd love to hear from anybody if they'd like to say. Ms. Council will speak. Ms. Council, great.
Mayor, distinguished guests, when I was asked to do this, I went to the dictionary, and Webster defines adoption as the act of accepting with approval, favorable reception, a legal proceeding that creates a parent/child relationship persons with persons not related by blood. And then the Bible states in Ephesians 1:4-6, the Message version, that long before God laid down earth's foundation, he had us in mind, had settled on us as the focus of his love, to be made whole and holy by his love. Long, long ago, he decided to adopt us into his family through Jesus Christ. What pleasure he took in planning this. He wanted us to enter into a celebration of his lavish gift giving by the hand of his beloved Son. And when I combined the two thoughts together of references about adoption, it was very clear to me that God, in his infinite wisdom, already knew that he had a plan for Hala. Although it was not on our agenda nor on our radar at this juncture of our life to adopt a child, especially when we're so long to become an empty nester, but we see clearly how God has the final say. Just like God accepted and approved and adopted us into his family because of our relationship with him, we are so thankful to have this opportunity and take great pleasure in accepting and adopting Hala into our family, so that she too can have the experience, that she too can experience the love and the wholeness of a family. Thank you.
Well, thank you for saying thank you, Terry Raymond. Thank you for being here with us as well. Appreciate everybody coming down here, as well as you, Hala. Thanks for being here. Thanks for what you do and for bringing this again to the community's attention, that we need to be very supportive of our adoptive parents as well and the children. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move now to public hearing number 1, please.
Public hearing 1 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on September 27, 2011, under state law. Public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk on the application of the City Planning Commission to remove the requirement for a downtown development certificate when a certificate of appropriateness has been issued in the Downtown Historic Overlay District, and by a 5-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval of the ordinance, Mr. President.
Okay. There are no members of the public who have signed up to address the council on this matter. If there are no questions, then the clerk will please call the roll.
I have an ordinance to amend and reordain Section 8-0.3 of the zoning ordinance of the City of Norfolk, 1992, in order to remove the requirements of a downtown development certificate for properties located within the Downtown Historic Overlay District. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford? Aye. Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smiegel?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 2, please.
Public hearing 2 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on October 11, 2011, under state law. Public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk to hear comments to approve a new 5-year lease agreement between the City of Norfolk and Crown Castle GT Company LLC at 1384 Kempsville Road.
Again, there's no one here to speak to the council on this matter. If there are no questions, then we'll call the roll, please.
An ordinance approving a lease agreement with Crown Castle GT Company LLC for a parcel of land located in the City of Norfolk at 1384 Kempsville Road. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, the consent agenda. Would any member of the council like to have
Yes,
either
C5.
one, C5? Okay. Mr. Riddick would like to have C5 considered separately.
Approve the consent agenda with the exception of C5. Mr. Burford? Aye. Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, C5, please.
This is gonna look like a mutual admiration society between Mr. Burford and me. But this, Croc Center, when this first came to the table around the council, I had no idea, never even heard of Croc Centers, and that the Croc Corporation was doing this in communities. And Mr. Burford took this as one of his challenges, like the basketball court on Valentine Boulevard, and has brought this thing to a groundbreaking. And I think it's a great job, Mr. Burford, and I think, we need to let everybody know that you stayed with this thing until we got it to where it is. And I'd just like to say congratulations to you.
Thank you, Mr. Riddick.
All right.
Yeah, and I hope everyone will come to the groundbreaking on the 31st. We really would like to have a nice crowd there. Mr. Manager, if you could bring some people from City Hall, some of it, because this is a unique moment, and I'm glad Paul said what he did, and Anthony really took this thing
Right.
on. He shouldered it, and he had some help, for sure. There was a guy named Josh Darden who raised nearly $28 million for this thing. But it's been a lot of pushing and shoving along the way. It hadn't been easy, but Mr. Burford should be recognized extensively on the groundbreaking day. Okay. All right.
This scheduled public hearing for November 22nd. Mr. Burford? Aye. Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye.
Can I ask
Okay.
one other question, please, in regards to the consent agenda? I see Mr. James Holmes in the audience, and I know he's from the Bolingbrook area. Mr. Holmes, are you here in regards to this rezoning?
Yes, I am.
And I think it's just scheduled for public hearing. It has to do with, and so the public hearing will be on the 22nd of November, just for your edification. Okay, thank you.
Okay, R1, please.
R1 is a resolution endorsing the application by the city to the Virginia Department of Transportation for Transportation Enhancement Funds, requesting that the Commonwealth Transportation Board establish the Elizabeth River Trail Phase 5 project in the amount of $150,000, agreeing to provide 20% of the total cost, $37,500, through the use of abandoned railroad right-of-way previously donated to the city, and authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to submit the application.
All right, just a second. Dan Montague?
Don't even say it. Can't help himself.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council, Mr. Jones. My name is Dan Montague. I live at 4605 Crick Street here in the city of Norfolk. I'm all for this. But what I am against is the Virginia Department of Transportation building the Midtown Tunnel such as they are. This is too little, too late. And then this is also the start of privatization of our
Dan, that's not what R1 is about.
I know that, but
Back later.
it's also the Department of Transportation. You're taking funds from them.
No, this is not about the Midtown Tunnel.
Well, the thing about it is, though, what I'm still saying, though, is we've got to stop the privatization of the roads in the state of Virginia. And this governor is set upon it, just like the one in Indiana. He sold the main throughway in the state of Indiana. And we have got to stop this stuff because there will be no roads around here anywhere that we don't pay a toll on.
Dan, this is a
Okay.
biking and jogging trail.
Okay, this is Ellis James. Thanks, Dan. This was about television. That's what it was.
Paul, at some point too, will we have a conversation about the article that ran on the tolls at the Midtown Tunnel not taking cash and just being electronic tolls?
Oh, we can talk all we want. They have never once consulted the city of.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
This is, they don't even go to the General Assembly with it,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
But that's, we can talk, we'll
Yeah,
talk,
okay.
and we should. Ellis, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, City Manager Jones. My name is Ellis W. James. I reside at 2021 Ken Lake Place here in the great city of Norfolk. I promise not to pound the podium, and I will support this project fully. I would urge each of you to vote aye on the resolution, and I would like to compliment the staff of the city manager in connection with this project. I had occasion to sit in on the Civic League meeting at Lambert's Point, and some of the citizens were quite concerned about the construction of the trail and its potential to impact the gardens there at the end of 26th and 25th Street. The city did a great job, and I talked with Clarence Bellamy, who kind of shepherds that whole deal out there. He's a really nice guy. And he said, Mr. James, I don't think it has impacted the gardens in any way, and there was just one little tip where they zigged and zagged, and it cut the western tip of the garden a couple of rows, and that was all. I think this is a good example, Mr. Jones, of your staff doing a good job of follow-up and making sure that communities and small communities who often are forgotten get attention from City Hall when there is a problem. And I really appreciated the fact that my trip out there while I was doing other things was worthwhile. And the follow-up, especially I would like to compliment Ann Odell because she has done a good job in monitoring that situation out there also. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. James. Okay, call the roll.
Got a shout out.
Adopt the resolution. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Okay. When are we going to finish the Elizabeth River Trail? By the way, how many, this is,
Help us out there.
when do we, this thing? Okay, R2.
An ordinance accepting a $25,000 highway safety project grant award from the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles for hosting 2 regional crash investigation training courses for the 7 major cities in the Hampton Roads area, appropriating and authorizing the expenditure of the grant funds and authorizing the expenditure of a local match of $6,892.80 as in-kind services by the Norfolk Police Department. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R3.
An ordinance accepting a $55,780 selective enforcement grant award from the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles for police officers' overtime pay to assist with traffic safety enforcement, for DUI conference fees, and for equipment purchases, appropriating and authorizing the expenditure of the grant funds and authorizing the expenditure of a local match of $11,156 as in-kind services by the Norfolk Police Department. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R4.
An ordinance granting a special exception to permit the operation of an eating and drinking establishment on property located at 1080 West 47th Street, and by 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R5.
An ordinance granting a special exception to permit the operation of an eating and drinking establishment on property located at 2000 Colonial Avenue, Unit 7. By a 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford? Aye. Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R6.
An ordinance granting a special exception to permit the operation of an entertainment establishment on property located at 257 Granby Street. By 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Mr. Wright is here to answer any questions if anyone has. any. Okay, call the roll.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R7.
7 is an ordinance granting a special exception to permit the sale of alcoholic beverages for off-premises consumption on property located at 1309 Raleigh Avenue. By 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval on both ordinances, Mr. President.
And Mr. Porter Hardy is here to answer questions. Mr. Hardy, are you here? Okay. Thanks for coming down. Okay.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. 7A.
An ordinance granting a special exception to permit off-lot parking on property located at 1306 Raleigh Avenue. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel?
Not yet. Aye.
Working on it. Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Thank you. R8, please.
An ordinance accepting with appreciation the donation of $50,000 to the City of Norfolk Office to End Homelessness from the Dallas Foundation, and appropriating and authorizing the expenditure of the funds to support activities to end homelessness under the direction of the city's Office to End Homelessness, including but not limited to support for Project Homeless Connect. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. And thank you to the Dallas Foundation. R9.
An ordinance granting a special exception to permit the operation of an eating and drinking establishment on property located at 4311A Avenue. By 7-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Jennifer Kroom is here to answer questions if anyone has any. Hi. All right. Call the roll.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru? Aye. Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R10, please.
An ordinance to repeal 2 subsections of Section 25-649 and to amend and reordain Sections 25-648, 653, and 654 of the Norfolk City Code 1979 so as to add 2 new right turn prohibited intersections, 2 new yield intersections, and 3 new stop intersections.
Mr. Mayor, before we vote on this, can I be heard briefly?
Sure.
The question I have is, I have been contacted by a neighborhood in advance of today that dealt with stop signs that seemed to result in their neighborhood. I was told it ran through the Civic League. The Civic League wanted certain stop signs that occurred. In this particular case, I note that we're repealing 2 no right turn on red, and then there's, I know 2 of them are my neighborhood, and I doubt very seriously they've come before the Civic League. If they have, I haven't heard it. And then there's some other add stop signs at certain intersections. And my information is that we seem to be adding stop signs throughout the city just because there's no sign on the corner. And there are traffic laws that do cover uncontrolled intersections. So the question is, first, have each of these been run through the neighborhood? So that way the Civic League can decide whether they want 3 stop signs now on Killam, so that every time, now one's on 41st and Killam's on 47th and one's somewhere else. But are these Civic Leagues approving or asking for these, or are we just going through and saying we should put something in one particular spot? Can I get that
I
answer?
can't vouch for
why don't
all of
we-
them, but I know that we have talked about those that are Park Place and Villa Heights Civic League,
But it's not
The
just,
ones that are here?
the Killam ones.
Okay, Killam ones.
but the police and the traffic engineer also have to sign off on these matters. It's not just if a Civic League wants a stop sign, for instance, or they want it taken away.
Well, I know. but
Certain-
I think what's happening is we're going and saying you should have a stop sign here, even though there may not have been one for 40, 50, 60 years. And we're now putting them in, saying you need one here. And I'm curious, Because none of this has come before the Highway
You
Safety
wanted,
Commission.
I mean, I'm glad to delay this week until we have or a couple weeks until we have a discussion about it.
Well-
See what-
David Scott's here too.
Yes, sir. Be happy to talk about any of the individual ones, but our process is always to consult with the community whenever there's a stop sign inside their neighborhood. And most typically, these signs do result from a request from the community. The only exception would be is if the police or our traffic engineer see something that they consider to be
There's been an
particular
accident
hazard,
and
an accident or something. But typically, in the case of the stop signs, they're coming from the request of the neighborhood.
Well, Mr. Kuiper, since you're here, explain to me what number 3 is. Hampton Boulevard, no right turns for southbound traffic on Hampton Boulevard into Daniel Avenue, truck traffic only. Then it says no right, and it says proposed amendment, no right turns, parenthetical, for truck traffic only. What does that mean?
We were having some problems in that area with some trucks cutting through the neighborhood. We had some complaints from the neighborhood, as I understand it. David Scott can answer a little more specifically.
Mr. Scott, why don't you come and explain to me, because this is something that perhaps we need to take up at our own committee meetings, and we get a process set up.
Yes, thank you. Councilman, this was actually something that was generated from your office. You sent us an email asking us to take a look at it. You had the neighborhood and the Civic League had a concern with trucks coming from NIT, turning into that street,
right,
making a U-turn and coming back out. So the no turn for trucks is to limit trucks from entering into that community.
So only trucks would be restricted?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so that issue was generated by council
Coming
office.
back now, Ian.
Now,
And
I have no idea.
Yes. So-
I must have been pretty good.
I tell you, Ed,
you know, we
your
never
record
get
feels so
that.
good.
I'm really
I
good.
never get a stop sign.
Yes, sir. You are very efficient, sir. You sent it to us.
It's
Edited
forwarding that email.
League and the Civic League is sign off.
Perfect.
Really good.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna heal.
Wait a second, you're not off the hook yet.
This is the thing about when you're in a hole, stop digging. You want to.
No, and then tell me about repeal no right turn on red. Where would that have come from?
I'll have to.
That's not me.
I don't have the detail with
Where's
me,
that?
sir.
Would that have come from the neighborhood? Would it have come from something that?
As John Kuiper mentioned, most of these are generated from the community. They're asking for us to investigate. And once we do investigate that, we do vet that through the Civic League. Even on those issues that we find are urgent, that we are concerned about, we do contact the Civic League president and make sure they're okay with that before we make those changes.
Do you know if that was done in that request?
I will certainly check in.
Through our office, my office?
Yes, I will, sir.
All right. I just want to make sure that there's a system that's there,
Sir.
that not because, let's say, I ask for it. And I'll give you an example. There's a stop sign on Cloncurry. That did not go through our neighborhood. It did not. It was before I came on council.
Yes.
And it has been an issue with people in the neighborhood. I think that what happened is one man who was the Civic League president, great guy, made a request. It went right to probably Mr. Wynn, because he was sitting here then. And you probably know the stop sign. And it got through. And I think the neighbors complained about it because they are stopping for what is really traffic, not traffic control, but for other issues. And I think what happens is one person says something, even in this particular case, I can tell you that the email most likely came from one person complaining, not necessarily the Civic League as a whole, let's say. Right. Then I forward that on, and the next thing I know, I see it's coming up right back at me. Okay. And most likely, it may have been just one person that filed a request to me that I forward on to the manager's office, and in his super efficiency, we now have an ordinance. So perhaps we are moving these things in such a manner that I don't know if we should be doing it if one person asks for it, and the next thing you know, it affects an entire neighborhood.
We don't. There's a couple philosophical things here. When we're talking about arterial or collector streets, we're very restrictive in doing those types of things. When we get into a neighborhood where people want signs for traffic calming or safety or things like that, we do pay a lot of attention to the neighborhood, but we try to be sure that we're not just responding to one or two individuals' requests. We do make an effort to talk to the Civic League to see that there's broad support. And sometimes after a while, people want things removed because they're not working, and we'll do that too.
I know there's 2 stop signs that they want removed that are very near this particular area. But that Ward 1 must have been super efficient, so I'm just glad that it's happened in this manner.
Maybe tell us
Thank
where
you
they are. and
very
we'll look
much.
at it.
Thank you for doing what I asked.
We call for the
Email it,
vote.
Is it my vote?
No. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Vote no for your.
I should vote no.
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
I'd just like to say that's the longest we've talked about a stop sign in my 11 and a half years on the city council. I vote aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R11, please.
An ordinance permitting Taha Inc., trading as Catania Pizza, to encroach into the right-of-way of Granby Street with a sign and an existing awning. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance. Adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R12.
An ordinance authorizing the conveyance to the Transportation District Commission of Hampton Roads of certain parcels of property bounded on the south of Curlew Drive, subject to the reservation of certain rights by the city of Norfolk. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R13, please.
An ordinance to amend and reordain Article 5 of Chapter 25 of the Norfolk City Code 1979 regarding signs, signals, and markings so as to add one new section establishing the use of traffic light signal photo monitoring systems in conformity with the state code.
Here it comes.
I have just
Okay.
a couple of questions about this. And I forgot what intersections they are. Are all of these intersections left turns or some of them right turns? And if they are right turns, does the camera recognize right turn on red after stop?
Mr. Kiefer may have a list of them, but this ordinance just authorizes the management to go through a process to
Okay.
identify intersections that qualify under the ordinance.
Okay, so this doesn't really
No.
specify, okay.
There is a process required where we have to get approval from VDOT on the intersection, so while we have some candidates, they're not approved yet, and they are the major intersections in the red light camera. The laws do apply to no right turn on red if there's such restrictions.
Will you come back to talk to us about the intersection?
Yes, sir.
Before you install it?
Sure. Yes.
Didn't we have some we were looking at?
Yes, we have some that we think are candidates, but they have to go through a process
Given us
before they're.
their list.
I thought
This-
I'd seen
and-
them.
and-
There's 8 of them.
Okay, yeah, I remember. I thought I had seen it before.
And the intersections will change over time. If we find that the enforcement works at one, we can move it to another one.
Okay.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru? Mr. Riddick?
I think this is just gonna add to the city manager's slush fund. Just joking, Mark. I vote aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye.
Slush
All I have,
fund.
Mr. President.
It's slush
Okay,
fund.
You have a
then
slush fund?
that, do you have a slush fund?
No.
Does that, Harry, that concludes tonight's agenda. Thank you for coming.